What's up, weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here, starting this vlog in a take two. What's up, weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here with the one, the only, the exotic from faraway distant lands, Arab honey over here. And we're going to make some bad decisions. What's really cool about hanging out with Arab honey over here is we tend to make terrible decisions together. We make bad decisions all on our own. Now, I mean, I'll make them individually and so will she, but together we are an unstoppable force of mayhem, poor decisions, bad credit ratings, and overdrawn checking accounts, all right? I'm an alcoholic. You're insane. Let's start a business. Anyway, speaking of bad decisions, we're going to look at a bike in the middle of a trailer park right now. You guys know I've had a lot of fun looking at motorcycles in trailer parks right now, so I had to bring some crazy backup here. She's got them nails on, so I expect you to come to my defense if this guy ends up being crazy. And I know it's a trailer park because, like, literally the street is called Mobile Villa Drive. So when you're looking at $700 bikes on Craigslist, you got to come loaded for bear, all right? Things might get dicey, but doesn't a little bit of danger make life more exciting? Dangerous motorcycles, dangerous drivers. Holy crap, dude! They don't teach Persian chicks how to drive. Wait, you Persian?
No.
Wait, Armenian?
No.
Oh, are there Saudi Arabian? Iraqian?
There you go. Sure.
She says she's Lebanese, but I think the girl goes both ways. We're definitely getting close, man. Around about here, you got to roll up your windows and lock your doors because there's feral children running around, 5-year-olds who are still wearing diapers with red soda stains all down their chest, and they'll jump right in your window just to steal the cigarette butts out your ashtray. So be careful in Sethner, all right? Them kids don't play. Oh yeah, you know what a boy is?
I know what a boy is.
Really? I thought you were Lebanese. Anyway, the bike didn't work out. It was a 1983 Yamaha Royal Venture, which is a very cool bike because it's literally has a VMAX motor in it without the V-boost, but in like a Goldwing style touring platform. But the guy wanted too much money for it. He lived in a trailer park, and he's one of those dudes like, I know what I have. I'm like, yo, the body panels are falling off this thing, and my ass is still sticky because it was parked under a tree that leaks sap all over the seat. So that would have to be. I offered him less, but he was just like, I'm gonna come back, put $100 in it, and sell it for $2,500. I was like, you go on with your bad self, baby. So unfortunately, Arab honey here has got to go. She's got to do something very inconvenient. It's called work. It's weird, that whole like work for a living thing. Yeah, so I'm going to meet up with David because we already got a line for another bike. So by the time I get back with that other bike, if that bike works out, we're going out. See you guys at Forgotten Angels. All right, speaking of bikes, whenever I'm going out and buying bikes and looking at bikes, everyone's like, when is Barf Party coming back? When will the Vomit Comet be reborn? Well, let me tell you, if you're on Patreon or Discord, you know, and also if you're these guys, you know, because the big reason that it's coming back is my man Alex from the Ride Factory right here. So Spaceman, Spiff, and Alex are gonna get it hooked up. It's coming back sooner than you might think. All right, guys, ride safe. Take care, bro. When your battery pack's dead, you can just hook your GoPro up directly to the motorcycle. Just finished receiving orders at the Dirty Shame after looking at the bike that didn't work out, and it's back on the road again. No rest for the wicked, baby. 100 miles an hour, all gas, no brakes, baby. That's how we do it around here. Now, people always wonder how I find these deals. A lot of times when I say, oh my God, I found this bike for, you know, next to nothing, $1,000, $700, $1,500, and people are like, man, how'd you find that deal? What happens is I'm always looking. And so if you're always looking, then you'll find the deals. And I know a lot of people are always looking, but you got to be always looking, and you got to be always ready to buy too. Here's the other thing when it comes to stuff like that, is you got to be willing to walk away. And today I walked away from that Yamaha Venture. It was a really cool bike, and I really wanted it because I like Goldwing. I love Goldwings, but I also love the Goldwing clones. And so that was like the Yamaha Venture and the Kawasaki. I think it was actually called the Kawasaki Voyager, not Venture. Kawasaki Voyager is another Goldwing clone that's really cool, and I love those bikes. And as much as I wanted it, there was body panels flapping on it. The seat was wrecked. I don't know how hard they are to get parts for, as opposed to the Goldwing, which is super easy to get parts for. And unfortunately, I just had to walk away from the bike because when you go and you get a good deal and you're going to spend your fuck you money on the bike, and even though I suck at selling bikes, you kind of want to know that if you're tired of the bike or you decide you don't like it, you can at least sell it for what you bought it for. And I really didn't feel that way about the Yamaha, so I stepped away from it. So take that piece of advice with you. Always be willing to walk away. And if there's one thing that you don't like or one thing that's bothering you about the bike, just take it as a sign and just walk away. And with that bike, it was starting to run hot, the body panels were flapping, and the guy just really didn't seem like he knew what he was talking about, so I decided to walk away. I've been burned a couple times on bike purchases, but not very many, and I credit that to being okay to not like just talking myself into the dream of owning the bike before I go out there and being fully prepared to say, you know what, no thanks. I did offer the guy less money for it, but again, he said he knew what he had. He knew he could put, he said, I think his exact words were, I'll put $200 in the bike and sell it for $2,500. Well, if he can get that, if he can get $2,500 for that pile, you know what? Good for him. I hope he does. I've never been one to deny somebody getting a good deal, whether it's buying or selling. So, hey man, if he can make $2,500 on that bike, Lordy, mister, I'll shake your hand and say, you done good, buddy. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think he's gonna keep trying to get big money for that bike for what it is, and it's just gonna rot away into his backyard. But, c'est la vie. Some people just can't let go of things. Alright, boy racer, take it easy. Hey, I can't blame him, alright? It's hard to not want to go fast on them things. I want to go fast on bikes that shouldn't go fast. I just can't. This is about as fast as I go before the speed wobbles set in on this Goldwing. No, I still haven't fixed the suspension, but my unpredictable friend Gunny Z was once again unpredictable and gave me a new air shock for the back of it that's been rebuilt. So hopefully we can actually fix this. Alright, let's see if me and David have a little bit better luck than me and Arab Honey did this morning. Will do. Thank you, sir. Well, I am currently on a GL1500 named Bubba that has 2 working carburetors and it's red. So this definitely isn't the mail order Glide. It's its cousin from Alabama. More on this in a second. Yeah, that's a lot different. So this is my first time riding a GL1500 with 2 working carburetors, as one of my carburetors has kind of been busted since the very first day I got it, and it's just gotten progressively worse. It's a lot faster. So as you might be able to tell, me and David had a little bit more success than me and Arab Honey did, because now we're here with Bubba, the big red Goldwing, a 1989 GL1500 that is in quite a bit better shape than the mail order Glide is. This bike is really, really nice. It's got a lot of really rare old like drag specialties parts all over it. Well, so far so good, but ain't that always the real test? A 1989 Goldwing with 71,000 miles on it. I put a lot of faith in these bikes, but you always cross your fingers once you hit the highway for a 100-mile ride home. But I've never been left stranded by a Goldwing yet, especially not a GL1500. And never a dull moment at the stab and grab, baby.
She's literally in the middle of the road stopping traffic right now.
She's got her clothes on for now, but usually that doesn't last for long. She's doing all right. There she goes. That's Ybor City for you, baby. All right, well now I gotta start filming because now it's cool. So we go to look at a lot of bikes, and every once in a while you end up going to somebody's house who's really cool. And so you already know someone's gonna be really cool when there's nothing but vintage 2-strokes lining every single wall. Starts telling us stories, and all of a sudden this bike's getting built to do the Trans-American Trail, concourse level restored motorcycles in his bedroom. Yeah, I feel pretty good about the GL500 that we're buying from this guy, another Silverwing. So very, very cool meeting Matt here, another guy in Florida. I think he's going to end up making it out to Forgotten Angels, but what a garage, man. Very cool. Thanks for showing us your house. Thanks for inviting us into your home, and thanks for the bike. Very cool.
So much nicer than my bike.
I got Matt's number because I told him I'm going to text him every other month, probably with about 30 other dudes that he knows. When he's ready to sell this 350, please call me first. So he's like, get in line, dude. Get in line.
This pipe, I changed this pipe on it because the pipe was actually bent up. Somebody flipped it over and they set this
You said it's a rider, though. You find these things, and it's like, man, if they're made to be ridden, man.
Exactly. Ride them, don't hide them, you know?
Yeah, we were making videos, and then we just got introduced to them through Jared, who built that giveaway bike. You know, that's how we got involved with them, and it's just really steamrolled from there, and we've kind of gotten, like, completely into it now. They're the real deal, man. Like I said, you go out there and see the house they live in, they don't take any money from this. Not at all. All right, man. Thanks again. All right, GL500, take 2. You know, I was confident in the Goldwing to make it back to Tampa. Since I rode a GL500 from Costa Mesa to Tampa, Florida, all the way across the country in about 37 hours, I am very confident that this will make it back to Tampa. Even got a wave. Freaking 5 minutes on the Silver Wing, and I got a dude on a Harley giving me the wave. Hey. Yeah. I'm gonna stop and put a little bit of gas in this thing. Last thing I want to do is run out of gas in rush hour traffic. A dead battery that's got a bad cell in it, so it wasn't taking a charge, but we put it on the charger. The alternator's or the generator's doing fine. I don't know if this is an alternator or a generator on it, but it does necessitate a jump pack at stops. Luckily, it's a little 500cc bike. Don't take much to turn it over. I'll tell you, this thing actually feels a little bit peppier than my GL500 does. Maybe mine needs to be jetted or something. Maybe it's jetted wrong. It did originally come from Colorado, even though I picked it up in California. So I need to look at that, because I was bitching about how slow it was. I'm like riding this one going like, well, it's not that bad. Can already see it's definitely going to need some tires and some new seals on the front forks, but that's pretty normal for a bike that's over 40 years old. That ain't so bad. Everything else on the thing is perfect. Well, here we are, tracking solid as a rock. Going 75, turning 7,000 RPM, and this is a very, very, very familiar feeling, seeing as I experienced it for about 3,000 miles, except more like 9,000 RPM for 22 hours at a time straight. So you go like, there's no way this little engine can just like turn those RPMs and be just fine, but I'm telling you, I rode one across the country hovering around 9,000 RPM the entire way in 37 hours. It'll be just fine. This CX500 motor is undefeatable. All right, back on the Silver Wing, and Shae's got a bunch of parts and a Bilbo.
The key to my car.
Oh, and I have the key to her car. Here you go. That would have been so funny. So if you hadn't guessed already, this 1982 Silver Wing, which is almost identical to the Silver Wing that I rode across the country without even checking the oil. I bought that bike for a little over $1,000 in California, rode it all the way across the country, and the guy who sold me that Silver Wing, very cool dude, actually had some extra parts for it, including another trunk section. And as this one doesn't have the trunk section, which is I think part of what makes these little bikes so freaking cool looking, I hit him up, and through him and then Tango 165, they actually just shipped it over. It's in the back of Shae's car right now. Those little trunk sections, I mean, yeah, they make it a little less usable because you don't have a passenger seat anymore. You don't have a pillion pad. It's taken up by the luggage. But I think they just make the bike look so cool. It's just really what makes this bike look really unique, in my opinion. And I know unique is another word for butt ugly, but some of us like the plastic maggot here. All right. I'm sure some of you are wondering why I'm currently in possession of a second GL500, Turd Ferguson the third, or Third Ferguson. Old Third Ferguson here. It needs a little bit of work. Like I said, new battery, new tires, fork seals. Other than that, this bike is solid as a rock. As I said, I rode one of these over 3,000 miles without even checking the oil after I bought it for a little over $1,000. These GL500s are solid as a rock. And I'd always been told that, but I'll go to war with this bike, all right? 9,200 RPM for 22 hours straight. That's a solid motor. And if you guys hadn't guessed, the reason why I am in a possession of another GL500, another Silver Wing, is because we're giving this one away. I'm going to put new fork seals in it. I'm going to put a new battery on it, new tires on it. And starting the day that this video comes out, we are selling tickets, man. Any ticket bought to win the Lowrider S with the 131 and the Ford Ranger trimmer. I'll have a link down below with 100% of those proceeds going to benefit Forgotten Angels. Any ticket bought to that within this time time period. Just like with the other motorcycles I've given away, like mid-season giveaways, when we're ramping up to the final grand prize of the Lowrider S and the truck. If I call your name and I call you and I said, hey, you just won the plastic maggot, baby, Turd Ferguson belongs to you, you can still just turn it down. You could say, like, yeah, you know what, I'd rather just take my chances and try to win the truck and the Lowrider. You don't have to accept this prize. I won't let you out, because guess what, I know not everybody's gonna want this bike, but I know there's a bunch of y'all out there that are gonna really like this motorcycle and really want to grab it. So like I said, starting today and ending on the live stream, not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that, I'm dumb, so I'll have the date written right here, the date of the live stream. That's going to be the last day to buy tickets to be entered to win the Turd Ferguson Jr. The front brakes don't feel as good as they should. I know it's got the same brake calipers on the front as a Goldwing does. I recognize them because I've spent some intimate time with those brake calipers. So I actually did end up getting a brake caliper kit as well. I'm just going to go ahead and throw new pistons in it and everything. And Shelby's going to be helping me with this and make sure I don't mess it up. So don't worry, whoever wins this bike, don't worry, you're not getting a bike that's only been fixed by me. Shelby will also be present to make sure you're not getting handed off a death trap to whoever wins this motorcycle. Although, I mean, come on, man. Death traps are fun, aren't they? Okay, I got the Silverwing parked outside. I made the critical error. We got up here, I rode the Silverwing, Shae drove her car, and we just beat rush hour traffic getting up here, and we realized we both forgot our keys for the shop, so we had to drive back home in rush hour traffic and drive back here in rush hour traffic. So about 2 hours later, we're finally going to get the Green Goblin off the lift. It's running, it's good. The clutch is all, we just got to adjust the clutch, and this is going off lift, and the giveaway Silverwing is going on the lift. Me and Shelby are going to get it back into tip-top condition. The engine's absolutely perfect, just needs tires, fork seals. I'm going to rebuild the brakes, and that sucker's ready to ride across the country. How do I know? Because I've done it. And as far as Bubba, as far as the other Goldwing, that's a story for a different day. Moment of truth. What everybody's been waiting for. Even though it was done in the last video, we just didn't ride it around because we had to do one last adjustment to it. And believe it or not, I wish that YouTube was the only thing I did, but it is not. Messing around with motorcycles is one small part of my whole day, a lot of which involves working for a living. It shifts fine, it goes into neutral as fine as a Sportster, pre-2003 Sportster ever goes into neutral. I think we might have done it, boys. Woo! Baby, the Green Goblin is back in action after a long last. I love how everyone is saying, like, the Green Goblin's been on the lift for a whole year. Like, no, it hasn't. Shae has ridden around in plenty of videos, but, well, I don't think this mirror is going to work out. She's trying to put matching mirrors on it, but anyway, Green Goblin back in action, baby. She can finally start riding this thing around. And again, everyone's like, man, it's so frustrating watching you guys just like mess around these bikes and not get them done. It's so frustrating. And I'm just going like, guys, I hear you. You think it's frustrating from over there? Imagine what it's like over here. It is just as frustrating, trust me. She is definitely ready to ride this bike around after all the work we put into it, and I love the way it looks. I think it's an awesome looking bike. She's ready to ride the damn thing, all right? I dig it, man. This thing, it's got race tech in the front, new tires on it. This is a performance machine brakes. This bike is ready to rock and roll, man. I like this motorcycle. And I just realized I just rode into a trailer park because I don't know where the hell I'm going. Scratch one off the list. A bike is leaving Brapshar Garage running. Everyone goes like, the bikes never leave. Well, guess what? I did the Goldwing. Man, does everyone forget about the bikes that I do fix? Like the Goldwing is completely fixed. The Raspberry Buffet, the one we gave away. The Sportster's now fixed. Like, give me a break, y'all. So it goes. It's pretty normal human behavior. Everyone out there will always have a incredibly keen and sharp memory when it comes to your failures, and maybe they get a little fuzzy and don't quite remember your wins so much. That's just the way life works, baby. There he goes. Nobody in the world drives more aggressively than somebody who got a V6 version of a car that could come with a V8. Okay, scratch one off. Let's get the other one on. This Silverwing is just going to be like a one-day job. There's no reason that you can't replace fork seals, rebuild brakes, and put tires on a vehicle all in one day. Give me a break. Even I, an absolute idiot, can get that done. I speak with such confidence. I say that. Let me rephrase that. Even an idiot like me can get that done in one day with Shelby helping.
You have my key.
And Shae helping.
You have
What key? The key to your car? Do you need that?
Yeah. Why are
That's
you
a bike.
always pocketing my keys?
There you go. Bye. Well, we got this sucker on the lift, and this is about where this video is going to end right now. Me and Shelby are coming up here in the next couple days. We're going to knock this thing out all in one day. Like I said, if Shelby wasn't helping me, maybe I wouldn't be so confident that it was going to be such an easy job. But I've got a lot of faith in these bikes. These little silver wings are indestructible, man. And again, I can only say that not because everybody else does. Everybody says they're indestructible, but the fact that I just hopped on one and rode it literally across the country without doing a single thing to it, it speaks volumes for these motorcycles, okay? They're really something else. And let me finally get my dates right. I'm gonna have to edit out all the other times I said the dates in here because I got them wrong. Now I got my phone in front of me. This motorcycle, if you buy a raffle ticket in between the day that this video comes out, Wednesday the 16th, between Wednesday the 16th and March 1st, between right now, Wednesday the 16th and March 1st, we're going to do a live stream on March 1st, which is a Tuesday. We're going to give away this motorcycle and a bunch of other stuff on that live stream, so make sure you're there for it. It's going to be a hell of an event. It's going to be probably the last live stream we do before Forgotten Angels, before the actual camp out. We've got this motorcycle to give away. I've got a build your own vest from Rebel Reaper. If you don't know about those guys, they're absolutely phenomenal. They build some of the coolest vests in the business, and they've got this 3D vest builder that you can go in there and pick out literally every little thing on your vest. I think like if you max it out, you're talking about like a $600 to $700 handmade vest, and they stepped up to the plate and said they want to raffle one off. So that's going to be a prize between now and next week. We're also going to give away a Simpson helmet. So I didn't order the Simpson helmet, but we got a helmet promise from them. I just want to wait till we see who wins so we can get their helmet size. That we're not going like, oh, you want a small Simpson helmet. Yeah, it's not really going to help you out. Giving away a Simpson helmet, giving away that vest. We got a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be talking about on the live stream that we're giving away too. We're going to pull a ticket from the main raffle. That still enters you to win the 2021 Ford Ranger trimmer and a Lowrider S with a 131, which I'm going over to see Mo here in a little bit. That Mo Colors is putting a custom paint job on top of everything else. Pretty cool stuff. Buy a ticket, it enters you to win that. But if you buy it between now, Wednesday the 16th, and March 1st when we do that live stream, you're also entered to possibly win old Turd Ferguson the third. Turd Ferguson Jr. Third! Wait, that's two. Third Ferguson over here. The mighty Silver Wing, and maybe we'll even figure out some other stuff to throw in with this bike too. Huge thanks to Tango165 and Ezra, the guy who sold me the other Silver Wing, for getting those cool parts. So whoever gets this is going to get the cool trunk piece and not just a regular seat. Like, I'll give you the seat too, so you can switch it back and forth. But man, the Silver Wing's gotta have the trunk. It's gotta have the trunk to really be cool. Well, yeah, we use the term cool loosely around here, okay? And yes, these are raffle tickets, but raffle tickets, it's chaotic good, baby. It's gambling for a good cause. We are bad people doing good things, because 100% of the money spent on raffle tickets, 100%, this money does not hit any branches on the way down. 100% of it goes to help these kids out, these young men at Forgotten Angels who've aged out of the foster care system. These young men who are made homeless not by their choice. They're thrust into a system because of neglectful parents, or abusive, sometimes sexually abusive, sometimes physically abusive, almost always mentally abusive. They're forced into these horrible foster care homes that are sometimes just as bad as the places they came out of, and then they pump them for cash. They use them to make money, and then on their 18th birthday, when they're not allowed to they don't receive any more money from the government for their foster care homes. On their 18th birthday, they give them a trash bag and they're made homeless. What Dave and Cindy at Forgotten Angels are trying to do is they're trying to break that cycle, and they give these young men a place to live. They teach them the life skills that they never learned. They have to build their own tiny home. All the young men learn how to ride motorcycles. They learn how to drive a stick shift car, and Dave and Cindy are the mom and dad that they never had. And I hope to see you at the camp out, because let me tell you, you got to see it to believe it. And everybody who's been to the camp out and seen the property and talked to Dave and Cindy and see how the young men live out there, those guys are just dyed-in-the-wool true believers at this point. And even if you can't make it, you can still help. Like I said, buying a raffle ticket, it goes directly to these young men. It goes directly there. Dave doesn't take a paycheck for Forgotten Angels. I don't take a single penny of this. I don't make anything off of this. In fact, I bought this bike. I paid for this bike. Like, the Forgotten Angels didn't pay for it. Shadetree Surgeon paid for it. You know, the patrons paid for it. Patreon paid for this bike. So there you go. And I'm not taking a dime back from it. Huge thanks to all my Patreons, by the way. You're the reason I could go pick up this bike and we could raffle it off. So all of you guys are doing your part over there too. Really doing the most. None of this motorcycle, none of this, every single penny is going to Forgotten Angels. So I'm not taking any money back for the bike. No money is hitting any branches on the way down. Nobody's getting paid. Every $25 raffle ticket for this motorcycle is going to go directly to help those kids in need, to help those young men rebuild their lives, start over, just to really finally get a chance at life, because it's like they never even got a chance, and you are helping them get their first chance. And you might win a really ugly bike too, Plastic Maggot, 3rd Ferguson. You might have that on top of it. So sometimes karma comes around and rewards you, but even if it doesn't reward you with a bike, know that you're doing a pretty good thing. I'll have links all down below for you to buy raffle tickets. For right now, well, we're going to meet Doodle on a motorcycle. Speaking of crappy Hondas that are getting given away, this is the bike that started it all, Raspberry Buffet. The very same motorcycle that started my addiction to crappy Hondas from the 80s that somehow inexplicably run forever. And it now belongs to one strong-like troll who's coming to pick it up and ride it back home to Arkansas in a month. So let's take that thing to the ride factory and get it inspected. The Raspberry Buffet, baby. Almost 40 years old, and guess what? It still shits and gets, alright. It'll do ramming speed, no freaking problem. I think it's the old GL 1200s. I believe they make like almost 100 horsepower. And the throttle response of 4 carburetors versus the 2 carburetors on the GL 1500, I actually like it a lot better, even though it's a little more complicated to work on. Anyway, bittersweet seeing this thing go. I mean, it took me across the country and back. I rode across the country without stopping from Tampa on the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to the Canadian border at Niagara Falls, and without stopping on a 40-year-old motorcycle that I paid whatever $2,000 for. And I don't know, this thing has really got a special place in my heart. It really opened up a lot of the world to me. It showed me that I could travel on a budget, that you didn't have to have some expensive crazy touring bike to go super far and have a lot of fun, that for a couple $1,000s you can get a machine and the whole country is opened up to you. Now, of course, on that trip it did break down 3 times, but it was all easy enough stuff to fix on the side of the road, and it got me all the way up to Niagara Falls. And if you guys remember, Arab Honey flew out there to meet me, and she met me in Buffalo and hopped on the back and rode back to Tampa on this thing. Just an absolutely wild journey that is, I mean, even though I'd been on road trips on motorcycles on the channel before, most notably when I took the Chopper road trip, I've never done anything like that before. That was the first time that I really just threw caution to the wind and sent it and said, you know what? I'm not, no backup plan, feet first, I'm jumping without looking, and it turned out absolutely amazing. It doesn't always. I had the Goldwing earlier in the video that I tried to drive back that broke down on the way back. It doesn't always work out that way, but the Raspberry Buffet, the Pork Chop Express, this sucker right here, and I got a lot of good memories on this motorcycle, that's for damn sure, and I'm hoping it's going to make a lot of good memories for Rodney too. When I thought about this bike, I was like, man, I don't ever ride it anymore. Like, I've got the mail order Glide and it's just kind of sitting around. I was like, yeah, you know what, I might sell it. You know, I could at at least sell it for $2,000, which is what I paid for it. And I got more than that in it with all the suspension work and rebuilding the brakes and the final drive and all the stuff I did to it. But I was like, man, I can get my money. I can get $2,000 for it again. It's still worth that. And when I really sat down and thought about it, and I thought about all the money that everybody's donated to Forgotten Angels, and I said, you know what? How can I ask people to donate money to Forgotten Angels if I'm not willing to pony up and donate money as well? So instead of grabbing $2,000 for this bike, I decided to raffle it off, and it raised so much more money to help these young men than the $2,000 would have meant for me. And it's the same reason I bought the Silver Wing with my own money. It's not Forgotten Angels money. I bought that bike, and I'm raffling it off. Well, when I say I bought that bike, the patrons, we decided with the patrons that we were going to get that bike. So again, it's if I'm not willing to pony up stuff, if I'm not willing to take something off of my plate and throw it in this pot as well, like I'm asking all of you guys to do when I ask you to buy a $25 raffle ticket, if I'm not willing to step up to the plate and do the same thing myself, how the hell can I ask any one of y'all to do it? And again, not only did this bike take me across the country and back, and it took Flipknot to Texas and back on another freaking 1,300 mile iron butt. I mean, this motorcycle has done, at this point, it's done 4 iron butts. So 4 different times this motorcycle has just ran at top gear at 3,500 RPM across the country without a single hesitation, besides like the couple times I had to fix it on the side of the road. But that's neither here nor there. All that stuff, and I've had this whole motorcycle apart. I rebuilt the front suspension, I rebuilt all the brakes, a starter that I put in it. I've had this motorcycle almost completely disassembled. I put the timing belt on. I learned a lot with this bike. It's been through a lot with me, and there's not a single part of it that I haven't touched or haven't taken apart. That's the kind of thing that makes you really love a bike, and that's the kind of thing that made me go, you know what? This bike is worth so much more to me than the couple $1,000s I could have got if I just sold it to somebody. And I just think a fitting end to its story on the Shadetree Surgeon channel, and a fitting beginning for its story on the Strong Like Troll Instagram page, really good dude, by the way, go give him a follow, is exactly how it went down. And even though I really love this bike and I did a lot of the work on it myself, if someone else is going to ride it, if Rodney's going to ride it all the way back to Arkansas, which is his plan, he's flying down here, he's going to get tattooed by abductuals, and then he's riding it back to Arkansas, I should probably drop it off at the ride factory and let Joe go through this thing and make sure it's really safe. I mean, I would ride it across the country right now without a second thought, but the dangerous situations I put myself in and the dangerous situations I'm willing to put someone else in are two very different things. What's funny is I'm giving this one away, or not giving it away, it is given away now. It now belongs to Rodney. I'm just like, man, this is the Raspberry Raffle is actually a way better motorcycle than the mail order Glide is. It just is a better bike. I mean, the GL 1500 is definitely it's more comfortable for me. It's a little bit better because I'm a little taller. I mean, these old GL 1200s, if you're over 6 foot tall, they're really kind of cramped, and the 1500s are way, way better. And Rodney, I think he said he's like 5'5", so it'll be great for him. But mechanically, anyway, suspension-wise, brakes-wise, the way the engine runs, this is a better motorcycle. I gave away the wrong bike. All right, I'll let the boys up here at the Ride Factory give it the stamp of approval, or at least as approved as a 40-year-old motorcycle can ever be.
Yeah, kill him. What up? I don't know what I just walked into, but don't kill Joe. We need him to inspect the gold wing. Did you think the video was over? It wasn't over at all. I got a brand new leather cowboy hat, an absolutely ridiculous belt buckle down here, courtesy of one car crash survivor, Cammy Bay over here. Let me tell you, she likes to dress me in leather, and it does something to me I can't quite explain, but
I told you I was gonna buy you shit.
I also ain't asking too many questions.
Oh, night riding in February in Florida, and it feels pretty good when the weather is about 66 degrees. It's a crisp 66 out here in Florida, and I got a pretty girl and a fat boy back there. Life is all right. These streets underneath these city lights illuminated like a discarded candy wrapper. What kind of trouble can a swamp wizard and a swamp witch get into on a night like this? Plenty, I reckon. Dude, that church looks so freaking cool underneath the lights at night. I just like to imagine you like a like a big titty gothic gargoyle perched on top of one of them spires up there. You're welcome. I've been saving that compliment all week. Oh, take it easy, all right? Trying to run us over? We're just out here trying to have a good time, taking old Cammy here past Magnanimous this time, up to Hidden Springs, a place I love going but haven't been to in a hot minute. Hidden Springs is always a brewery that we have on heavy rotation at the Dirty Shame. They're always making all sorts of wild, cool, sour beers. I was almost at the right parking lot. One more parking lot. We can go right up here off the sidewalk, though. Okay, that's okay. No permit, no problem. We'll just use the crosswalk to get into the right parking lot. Whoa! Gosh, man, everyone's in such a hurry today.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together.